Welcome to the Liberty Collaborative, where the past meets the present in the fight for freedom. We uncover the roots of liberty, spotlight the people who shaped it, and explore what it takes to preserve it today. If you're ready to think deeper, stand stronger, and act with purpose, you're in the right place. Let's reclaim what matters most.
And good morning, everybody. It is July 30th, a Thursday here, and you are tuning into the live broadcast of the Liberty Collaborative podcast. And as always, well, not always, we haven't all been together, it seems, I think, in a week, but we have Michael Hancock, K. Carl Smith, and Chris Coyle, and myself. And today we're going to be talking about the fifth and somebody who's been pleading it very much. So let's get into it. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Hey there.
Great, gentlemen. Great.
I'm good.
Well, it's good to be back with y'all. You know, guys, this Anthony Fauci testifying raises so many interesting issues, including whether a pre-pardon is constitutionally valid. Can someone in an executive elected office tell someone else, hey, I pardon you for whatever you might be charged with later? And then if he was pardoned, did Biden really sign it? I mean, we have this auto pen scandal going on. It's pretty clear someone else was running the executive branch. And then finally, if he did get pardoned, does a person lose their constitutional rights forever or for a particular thing? So it really raises, but the final thing, guys, I'll throw out to you, what his disclosure in his diary show, how few people in power can take control of the whole country, shut down schools, vilify people with an opposing opinion, fund Chinese labs and hide it. Now this is exposed, so yet another corruption where a few people can really use an event to take control of the country.
How's that for get started, guys? I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah, we're getting an echo from someone. I don't know who.
Could be me. I put mine on mute.
Yeah.
All right,
let's see. Michael.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, yeah, that's much better. Yeah, you know, the thing that I think about is the idea of a pre-pardon. Doesn't that in some way suggest that someone's guilty of something? How does that work, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, isn't that harken back to royalty or some sort of monarch that says, if you are as of this, if I, with a magic wand, say that you are immune from the subject and the reach of the law, how can that work? And I think it's, K. Carl and Aaron, still an open issue. I don't know if anyone's come to a conclusion on it.
Well, I take the fifth in this conversation. But look, my question is, if you get a pardon, what would you pardon for? We don't know that. Is it for all the above? I mean, what was it? And it's a joke. You gonna take the fifth because they ask you if your name is your name?
Yeah, what color is the carpet? And he said, I've got to take the fifth.
Yeah.
So, I have no warm heart for Fauci and what he did to this country and how, in my opinion, he has caused the murder of millions of Americans under this whole thing called COVID, to include my parents. I lost both my parents who contracted COVID, but in researching it myself, my parents did not die of the flu. They died of the medical protocol of using remdesivir as the treatment for COVID that shut down the kidneys. And doing my research, I found out that remdesivir was used in test studies to find a vaccine for Ebola and AIDS. They stopped using remdesivir because it killed 56% of the participants. When the United States had a huge spike in COVID deaths during this whole pandemic, that's when Fauci bought the world supply of remdesivir and pushed it out to the hospital through the CDC. So I don't call him by his name. His name is Fauci because he told a bunch of lies. It's so.
Yeah.
Remember he said wearing a mask is not gonna do any good. They came back and said, "Oh, you got to wear the mask."
Oh,
So,
Yeah.
put this man in front of a firing squad is my opinion. I'm gonna stop right there.
yeah, and I'll agree with you, K. Carl, because I was very vocal during that time, and I was called every name on, especially at work, because they were trying to force it on all of us, and I was like, absolutely not. I have no idea what this is going to do. It's under emergency use only. I did my time in the military. I got my 7 anthrax shots, and you got everything else that threw at me. This is my turn to say, no, I'm all set. I don't need to do this. But with that being said, if I'm not mistaken, a presidential pardon only covers federal offenses. Is that correct?
I think you may be correct.
So that means that if he's pulling the fifth on all this, well, then a state could sue him, right? And the pardon wouldn't protect him.
I think you're correct, and I think he could be held for contempt of Congress.
Yeah.
Now,
I understand.
I
understand Great Britain is coming after him too.
Wow.
Good. Lawyer up, Anthony.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if you'll get a famous person discount, Michael, from the lawyers. Guys, think about this too. K. Carl, to your point, a couple of historical notes here. One, did you see in the stuff written that apparently Fauci, after he got Moderna, had a lung or heart problem? Did you see that? He had a reaction, the exact reaction they hid.
I don't believe that, Chris.
Reaction, never told anyone about it.
Chris, I don't believe that. I don't believe he took the vaccine.
No.
Oh, really?
I don't believe that.
None of them did.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he exempted himself because he's a smart man. He knows what's in that mess.
Man.
Did he say that in his diary?
Apparently, it was reported that he took Moderna and had
I don't believe that, man.
Lung thing. Well, let me ask you guys this from a different angle. So we had Russia collusion, right, with Comey and Brennan, the CIA. We had that. Isn't this literally the level of, I would suggest, or at least I'll put it out there as a proposition, this was worse than Russia collusion because it held the American public hostage.
Oh, absolutely.
People like the governor in Florida said, we're not doing that. We're keeping open. Remember, he was ridiculed.
Yep.
And remember, Sweden said, no, we're not closing down. And the rest of the country was held hostage. Google was in on it, Facebook, social media, the media. It just, I hope people understand the proportion of this scandal and how dangerous, but what it warns us, how quickly it can happen.
My personal opinion is on this, all this was a globalist attack on the middle class. How could grocery stores like Walmart stay open, but mom and pop grocery stores were closed? Virus don't work that way.
Right.
Virus don't discriminate because you shop at Walmart versus a mom and pop. It just don't work that way. So it was an attack on the middle class. And that's what globalists want to do. They want to have the elites and all us be serfs. And guys, it goes back with this whole thing about Bill Gates, and he wants this, it's overpopulated, and they create a virus to kill folks off. Well, if you believe we're overpopulated, won't they lead by example? Be first line, get in line first, and get rid of themselves.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut up, man. Y'all got me going.
Hey, Carl, and Michael and Aaron, a couple things that really put an exclamation point on that. I don't know if you remember, but the Hollywood studios, who are big donors to the left, were given permission to stay open in California and set up tables and run a cafeteria outside the studio right on the side of their building. Across the street was a restaurant that said, okay, we'll do what everyone else is doing. We'll build an outside tent facility and we'll put the tables out there. California shut them down while the studios ran the exact same food service across the street. Meanwhile, of course, the governor, where was he caught going? The French Laundry was called.
Oh, yeah.
Fancy restaurant.
Yeah. So real quick, those of you that are watching and listening live, feel free to drop us a comment. Let us know what you think about Fauci and pleading the fifth and the whole pandemic, that time period that was very odd in this country, where, you couldn't go to church, but you could get a lap dance and a beer. So very
and abortion clinics remained open too.
They didn't close them. Right. Yeah.
Now, Chris, getting back to the whole pardon thing. So if the pardons are just for federal crimes, isn't it have to be anything before a certain date? Like, it's not just carte blanche. Like, I get a pardon, I can go out and rob a bank, right? Like, it's only for a certain period. Is that how it works?
Yeah, well, this one was up until I think 2024 for Fauci. So
Okay.
somewhere like 2015 through 2024, something like that, some limited period of time. But what if he murdered somebody?
Right. What if somebody
Well,
dropped
look,
after
well,
that?
I got a question, guys. Maybe it's just me. Do you pardon someone before they're convicted of a crime?
That's
Yeah,
it, right?
I thought you pardon somebody after they're convicted so they can become innocent. So this is just a protection.
Yes.
And I want to read the pardon. What does it say? You're pardoned for? Did they leave that blank and fill it in later?
It's like a Mad Lib. You just fill it in with whatever adjective.
Yeah. But it really, guys, is back to some other form of government where royalty can declare someone you aren't held accountable. Here you go.
Yeah.
Right? It's just mind-boggling. The thing that's going to be interesting to you guys, and for anybody who's a town council member, wants to be in politics, or you're in business, would you just take a lesson? I love Rand Paul, but we see another lesson in people shooting their mouths off prematurely. And let me give you an example. Rand Paul was quoted as saying, I want to see him in jail or something like that. Right? Well, then he calls the hearing, and his opponents get to say, well, this is a show trial, this performance, because you already told people your conclusion. Folks, they're right. That was stupid of Rand Paul to say that. Just like Pete Hegseth and Trump claiming we won in Iran. How many times have we supposedly won?
Right.
We brought them to their knees. Oh, I see. But somehow they slipped out a few more rockets. So politicians out there, particularly those who love America and, the concept of what we stand for, shut up. Let the facts come out, but don't ruin them by shooting your mouth off. Sorry, I had to get that in. It's a shame Rand Paul said that and gave the Democrats a chance to make it look, because they weren't wrong.
Well, yeah. What I would say is they weren't wrong, but him not saying that wouldn't have changed anything about what they would do.
That. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
You're right. They're going to find some way to totally discredit the other side. That's the way they operate. I mean, I was observing the trial. I mean, not the trial, but the hearing, and what you saw was the folks on the left. They were focused on Trump and all kinds of stuff, and of course, exposing Rand Paul as being like a guy on a vendetta. But you got to take a look at what are the facts, and the facts is that Fauci funded gain-of-function testing that went on in Wuhan. That's a fact. Right?
Explain to the audience, Michael, very quickly, what exactly does that mean?
The gain of function, basically what that is doing is creating new things that a virus can do. And
these are the Chinese doing it.
And funding the Chinese to do it. He funded them through some third party, right? But the idea was to create new viruses that would kill people. For some reason, Fauci thought that was a good idea, and that's very public information. So when you go back, it is very bizarre. It's like everybody was saying no, we shouldn't do this, and Fauci would say, well, even if it kills a few people, it's still okay.
And wasn't he the guy that was experimenting on all these beagles, right, with flies or something like that? Like, the guy's just evil. It's like Nuremberg 2.0 or something. You can't. It's like a horror movie. Again, because it's illegal here in the United States, we funneled money through third parties to those in China, where supposedly it came from wet market, right? That was the first story they told us. And then it came out that no, actually it came from a lab. It just goes to show you why some people don't trust the government at all.
Wait,
This this is a
My
perfect
lawyer
case,
has
guys. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say my lawyer has advised me to take the fifth on this particular.
Yeah, boy. This is a perfect example of men, individuals trying to be God.
Mm.
When they put that moratorium on this, what you're talking about, Michael, and Fauci goes behind the back of the government and outsources to China, he said, "The hell with y'all.
Yeah.
I'm the highest paid civilian I'm getting more than the president on
Yeah.
salary.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do what I want to do." And you know what? Now he's pleading the fifth. You know what? It's time to pay the piper.
Yeah.
I hope to your point, we've all talked on this show about how weak Congress has become. They have show hearings. They yell at each other. They do continuing resolutions, spend more money, or I should say borrow more money. But in this case, holding him in contempt of court and having federal marshals go get him and put him in jail, they got to do that.
Yeah.
You know what? Meanwhile, look at Comey, our friend Crooked Comey, has applied to the court, I believe in Virginia, or wherever it is, to have his case dismissed, saying that his arranging of the seashells, that it sounds like now he admits he didn't find them, but he arranged them. I thought I saw that in there. That was political opinion, and that's permissible. You got to love these guys. They are not held accountable. And I think, to your point, guys, that's what's eroding public confidence.
Yeah. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. But Lord, please expedite this one. Please.
Yeah. You know, accountability under the law is such a important part of the law. I was having a conversation with my older brother, who's former federal law enforcement officer, and he thinks the charges against Comey aren't very good. He doesn't think it's right. And I asked him, I said, let me ask you a question. You know how they finally arrested and prosecuted Al Capone? He didn't remember. I said, tax stamp, the paper on the labels on the bottles weren't properly broken. And so they got him on a technicality, but they knew he had killed a ton of people. Yeah. I said, so you never pulled someone over knowing you might not be able to get a prosecution, but you charge them, you arrested them because you know they did something wrong. So when do cops start becoming judges, right? Oh, I see. So the prosecutor shouldn't charge him because maybe there's a possibility he'll get off. So I know I'm going from Fauci to this, but they're all combined in that the public wants to see some accountability here.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, one of the things that I've observed, in fact, I wrote an op-ed called "The Robe Revolution," where when the Congress doesn't actually legislate anymore, everybody starts looking to the Supreme Court as the authority and where things should be resolved, which is not their responsibility. So over time, the thing that I grow very afraid of is that power is suddenly shifting to the Supreme Court, which we all know, depending upon its persuasion, can either be something that upholds the Constitution or something that drives down our throats laws that which is not supposed to be its role.
Yeah, and to that, you are correct, Michael, 100%. And Chris, what you were saying about accountability, I think people just want accountability in their own backyard. I mean, I know you're fighting stuff in Pomfret. We've got stuff going on here in Mansfield. We've heard from Mike and what he's got going on, and K. Carl. It's not just at the national level. This goes all the way down to our own backyards. And when you're too focused on the dog and pony show at the national level, you miss all the stuff going on in your own backyard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. Well, one of the things that I love about this show, you guys, Liberty Collaborative, is trying to give people more context and content around these issues. And what people got to realize is, Michael, you constantly say it, understand more of what this represents, that someone in this level of authority could do this to our country, and now is sort of smirking, has enough money to hire a ton of lawyers. I think he had a row of 7 or 8 behind him. But I think people ought to speak up and say, look, we need to hold these people accountable. And Aaron's right. We got to wake up. We got to get involved, whether it's local level, and demand the truth, demand the facts.
Oh, well, demand the truth and demand the facts. One of the things that I've been witnessing and writing about here in Aurora, Colorado, is just how now that we've got this majority progressive city council, how what they do is they claim everything is an emergency, right? They'll have some small activist group show up to I think express the idea that, oh, there's a community, but it's not a community, it's some small activist group. And then they shove resolutions and regulations down the throats of the people based upon some minority perspective. And literally they act like they are kings. Right? One of the city council ladies actually ended up going and protesting and laying down on the sidewalk of the ICE Geo facility here in Aurora. But at the same time she's doing that, she's also saying, well, I really don't have enough time to do my job, so we need to hire 4 or 5 more assistants to help. It's like these people are totally nuts.
Legit.
Very, very.
Well, guys, thanks for the opportunity to chat today. K. Carl, congratulations to you again. I'm glad it went so well there in Illinois. And if our friend runs for governor, you and I will be back there, I think, helping him out.
You're muted.
Look forward to it, guys. Hey, on a closing thought,
I do have to hop.
On a closing thought, let me say this. I encourage everyone, and kind of dovetailing with Mike and Chris,
yes.
everybody was saying.
How are you?
We got to get involved. You got to know what's going on. You got to do some homework. And I encourage everyone, go to the internet, read the platform of the Democrat Socialists of America. And when you read that platform, you're going to see some direct parallels to what Marx is all about. I'm not going to give you 4 of them. There's many more. They want to have a constitutional convention and rewrite the Constitution. They want to take over major corporations, various industries, utilities, oil, for example. They want to get rid of private schools and homeschools. They want to get rid of the U.S. Senate and the Congressional Electoral College and come up with a judiciary supreme body, which is nothing but central planning.
Yeah.
When I did my research, I found out, had this ever been done before? And the answer is yes. Who did this before? Those 4 exact things were done by Chavez in Venezuela. And look what happened to Venezuela. So if we put these people in power and they're in office, they're going to think they have the green light to implement their platform. Read their platform. It's called Workers Deserve More. And don't that sound Marxist, right?
It always turns out that way, right?
And they're telling us what they're going to do. So don't be fooled by the hype of their being compassionate and caring, loving. That's how Marxism is always presented. But always create evil, misery, mass murders, and we all become slaves to the government.
Absolutely.
Do your homework.
Please do your homework. You're absolutely right, K. Carl. They start off by saying, "Oh, we need to fix things for the workers." Then the next thing you know, when they take power, they're killing a bunch of workers, right? Yep. And running everybody, making the nations that they take control of, everybody's equally poor, right? And so, people, we got to dig in. I think right now what has developed is an opportunity, since they're so visible, for us who actually care and understand, to wake up and get involved and encourage others to get involved. Because if we don't, we allow this to continue the way that it is, we're in for a bunch of misery.
Yeah, I agree. Well said, gentlemen. Well, we're coming up to our time here. Chris has already hopped off. So for those of you that are still on or listening to the replay, make sure you tune in every Thursday from 10:30, roughly-ish, Eastern Standard Time to 11. Have a great weekend. We'll see you.
Take care.
Thanks for joining us on the Liberty Collaborative. If today's episode lit a fire or gave you clarity, share it and be part of the movement. Subscribe, leave a review, and keep the conversation going. Until next time, stand firm, stay free.